Hello and a very warm welcome to all of you on this Monday afternoon, and we're building up to the match that is coming up tonight, that is being played at the Wankhede Stadium between Rajasthan Royals and Kolkata Knight Riders. One team who'd be desperate to win after having lost 5 games on the row. Then there is Rajasthan Royals, already in the top 3 and would look to go up 1 place to the 2nd position if they win tonight. Rajasthan Royals lost their last game against Mumbai Indians, and Kolkata Knight Riders also coming from a loss. So both teams would want to win from here on. Shubhayan's here with me. We'll talk about the probable playing 11s for the two teams. We'll also give you our fantasy options. So lots to talk about here on this show. But let's begin then with the in-form team, Rajasthan Royals, with one man who's been scoring runs by the bucketfuls. That is Jos Buttler. How good has he been? He's 566 runs right now. And if you compare him to Virat Kohli in the 26 in that year where he scored 974, then he's 5 runs ahead of Virat Kohli already. Can he go on to break that record? Oh. That's the interesting one. But how good has he been?
I think the best batsman by a long margin. And you talked about Virat Kohli, and I won't be surprised if Jos Buttler goes on to break the record. The kind of batting he has shown earlier, I can understand he was getting plenty of runs due to the pitches being fresh and good. But even when the pitches are slowing down, he's going at the same rhythm. So you know, it's been a special season for him, and by the looks of it, he's going to continue it even today.
Yeah, and Wankhede Stadium, it's a high-scoring ground. We've seen a lot of runs being scored. So can Jos Buttler score yet another 100 against Kolkata Knight Riders? For the Kolkata Knight Riders, the problems remain. One problem being that they are reaching the business end of the tournament, Shubhayan, and they still do not have their playing 11. They don't have a settled playing 11. They've done a lot of chopping and changing. We've seen, 14 changes, 13 to 14 changes already in this season, and still they haven't got the balance right.
13 changes, 6 opening pairs so far, and everything have gone wrong for KKR after the initial few matches where Umesh Yadav was the one who was providing them wins single-handedly. But KKR, we have talked about in the preview, in the review as well. Even Nikhil had criticized their auctions before, and you know, when you assemble, okay, I can understand if you are assembling a young squad like Mumbai Indians who have talented players and the ones who can give you runs and contributions in the next 3-4 years. But for KKR, they have old players, they have out of form players, they have players who are not playing active T20 cricket anymore, and you know, you can't build a base from that. Earlier in the previous era, under Dinesh Karthik's captaincy, you had so many young players, be it Shubman Gill, be it Nagarkoti, Mavi, the likes, etc. But in this regime, I think starting from Ajinkya Rahane to other old ones, Umesh Yadav, okay, he's giving you wickets, but can you base a future on such players? So plenty of questions.
I think the bigger problem here is also the fact that 3 out of the 4 retained players for them haven't performed at all, be it Venkatesh Iyer, Varun Chakravarti or Pat Cummins. 2 are already sitting out. Will they drop Venkatesh Iyer? That's another big question, given that he averages 16 in the tournament. So a lot of tough questions for Kolkata Knight Riders. But let's take a look at then the playing 11, likely playing 11 for the two teams. Let's begin with Kolkata Knight Riders, since we're talking about it. Shreyas Iyer leading from the front for this team, has already scored 290 runs in the tournament. And again, the kind of consistency you would have expected from Shreyas Iyer, he's not getting it yet.
True.
He is your highest run scorer for Kolkata Knight Riders. That also just goes on to show how others haven't fired. Aaron Finch is back into the side, but last match failed. The only players to stand out with the bat has been Nitish Rana and Rinku Singh.
Yeah.
You got Baba Indrajit, didn't do much. You tried Sheldon Jackson before him. Andre Russell then, of course. You know, he has really been the exceptional player for Kolkata Knight Riders, but he alone cannot win you all the matches. The bowling has been good. Umesh Yadav, good news for them. Tim Southee replacing Pat Cummins is good. But yeah, problems remain. Sunil Naren as well, good with the ball, but problems remain for them.
True, and I mean, when your retentions, two of your main retentions don't fire, you have spent 7 crore on Pat Cummins as well. He's the most expensive bowler, and that takes a lot out of your squad when two or three main players whom you have based your future on aren't firing at all, and that's why they have been dropped. And I guess it's if Venkatesh Iyer also continues to fail, he's averaging, as you said, 16. I think it's not far away when Venkatesh Iyer also sets out. And you know, starting from Aaron Finch, okay, he has been a great stalwart of the game, limited overs cricket. But again, when you look at his last 10 innings, he has eight single digit scores there, 7 or 8 single digit scores there. So tells a lot about what Pat Cummins has been going through as a batter in this format. He's the Australia T20 captain, okay, he's a World Cup winning captain, okay, but when it comes to batting form, I don't think he fits
also
in.
very expensive with the ball.
Yeah.
I think economy of 12.
Yeah.
So
Pat Cummins is when you talk about Pat Cummins, he's the most expensive bowler in this tournament. Not only in the KKR camp, he is the most expensive bowler in the entire IPL, and that says a lot about how Pat Cummins has you know come into this season. And you know, when you look at his counterpart Josh Hazelwood in RCB, he's absolutely on fire, bowling terrific lengths and bowling economical spells. But yes, when you look at Pat Cummins and the entire KKR squad, their combination, you can't base, as you said, Andre Russell can't win you matches, Sunil Naren can't win you matches all the time. Your middle order, the mainstay where Nitish Rana, these guys have to play consistently.
Yeah. From the word go, even in the auction, you know, for the longest time, in the first half of the auction, they hadn't got, except Sheldon Jackson, they hadn't really got a wicketkeeper for them.
True.
Then they went in and bought Sam Billings. Confused auction, but nothing seems to be working for them. The retained players are not performing. The players they've paid good bucks for are not performing. And why this is a desperate sort of situation for teams like them, because Kolkata Knight Riders are in the 8th position right now. So from here on, they need to win everything if they want to be in the top 4.
And if they lose today, they will match their worst ever streak in losing streak in IPL. So things are that says completely what their tournament.
And the turnaround, even last season, the start was slow. The turnaround in the Dubai UAE leg was because of Venkatesh Iyer, and he just cannot find a run. He cannot get a run from anywhere at this moment. He's struggling. Okay, let's take a look at a team that's not struggling in this tournament. That's Rajasthan Royals. How good have they been? They may have lost the last game against Mumbai Indian, but Jos Buttler, my goodness, he is in the form of his life, just batting on a completely different pitch every time he goes out. He hasn't again got the support from everybody consistently, but I guess when someone is in that kind of form, you don't need too many batsmen to be scoring for you. Having said that, whenever the team has required somebody to put their hand up, they've done it. Be it Riyan Parag, a lot of questions were being asked of him as well. He showed what he can do with the bat. Shimron Hetmeyer, who has finished games for them. And the bowlers, we've always said it's a brilliant bowling lineup, and they're all performing at the moment. So this is good signs for Rajasthan Royals going into what is going to be an important phase in the tournament now.
Yeah, absolutely. And you talked about Josh Buttler, and you know, he's scoring 60-70% of teams' run, and when a batter is in such form, the likes of, you know, Padikkal and other Sanju Samson, they have to play a supportive role, which they are playing. Shimron Hetmeyer is striking at a great strike rate, close to 200. Sanju Samson is striking at a great strike rate, although runs haven't come in bulk, but he's still giving you great contributions with the bat, quick fire contributions with the bat, and they know that if Josh Buttler plays out the power play, he's a well settled batsman. He'll go on to play 12-15 overs. And if a batter like Buttler plays 15 overs, then half of your job is done with the bat, and then you have that bowling attack. Oh my, one of the best bowling attacks in this tournament, starting from their spin duo, their pacers, the variety of pacers they have. Trent Bolt, who can give you wickets in power play. Then you have Prasidh Krishna, whom you can trust to come in at any phase. Then what a find has Kuldeep Singh been. I mean, he has walked into this bowling attack consisting of world-class bowlers, and has looked at home completely from his debut match to the last match. He has been absolutely sensational.
Yeah. Also, when you talk about the spinners here, I mean, you have Jos Buttler, who is, who holds the orange cap. and by a distance. KL Rahul in what, 300s? He's already gone to 566. And then you look at the bowlers and Yuzvendra Chahal stand out. Just to see Yuzvendra Chahal and Kuldeep Yadav in this tournament in a year where you have a World Cup, it's brilliant to watch. It's for all of us who know what they can do. And it's also incredible how things keep changing in Indian cricket. For a while it was the wrist spinners, then suddenly they disappeared and you said, no, you don't need the wrist spinners. Now again, they're showing what they can do and they are striking at crucial times.
Absolutely. It started with Ravichandran Ashwin, Ravindra Jadeja being the center of everything related to spin. Then suddenly came Yuzvendra Chahal and Kuldeep Yadav, who again ousted both Ravichandran Ashwin and Jadeja from the 11. But again, when they had a dip in form, Ashwin and Jadeja are back in the helm, and now all the four bowlers are in the scheme of things for the Indian team. So yeah, good signs for the Indian team. But yes, I think this has to be Ashwin and Chahal pairing has to be the most thinking pair of this IPL 2022. Chahal 19 wickets, although Kuldeep Yadav is very close with 18. But I think Chahal, if you have to take my favourite, I think Chahal has been the standout bowler and took the hat-trick against KKR as well.
Yeah, and if you talk about the bowlers and bowlers who are making a comeback, then Umesh Yadav we have to talk about a little bit more as well. Again, Umesh Yadav, when he was bought, and I would think it was like a collective thing from everywhere, where people just smiled, thinking, why would you pay money for Umesh Yadav? But he's shown that what a comeback means, and and there are a few players we've seen in this tournament, but Umesh Yadav again stand out along with Dinesh Karthik and quite a few others. But how good has he been, and forcing the selectors to think about him for the World Cup?
Oh yes, I mean Umesh Yadav was first of all unsold in this IPL auction, and then when KKR didn't have too many pace bowlers, they got him Umesh Yadav for his base price on the second day. So, and what a buy it has been. Umesh Yadav didn't play any sort of IPL cricket for the last couple of years. He was with the Delhi Capitals camp but didn't get a single game. But as soon as Pat Cummins was out for the first couple of matches, Umesh Yadav said, okay, I am the experienced guy in this camp and I'll take the responsibility of giving you wickets up front in the power play, and boy, he has bowled with pace, he's swinging the ball, and even in the last match I said against Delhi Capitals, Umesh Yadav was coming on a small run where he wasn't picking up wickets, but again as soon as the ball started swinging in at the Wankhede, Umesh Yadav was again looked at his best. So again, if KKR has to win, if KKR has to end this losing streak, then a lot will depend on how Umesh Yadav bowls up front.
It is interesting though, when you find form and you end up doing this well, be it with Umesh Yadav or with Yuzvendra Chahal, but when form deserts you, what do you do? And that's the question that I think Venkatesh Iyer fans must be asking, because what seems to have gone wrong with him? I think, it's a similar question that people were asking about Virat Kohli. Of course, the good thing is that he scored 50 in the last game, though a lot may say that didn't come at a strike rate they would have wanted for the team. But for Venkatesh Iyer, just not being able to get runs, what seems to have gone wrong?
Oh, but first of all, I think it's the unstable batting lineup as well. I mean, you don't have a lot of resources in the middle order, and sometimes an opener might think that, okay, I don't have a lot of options, so that brings in a cautious approach. Last year, nobody knew Venkatesh Iyer, so he came in and he played his natural game, and by the time the teams, the analysts started reading him, the tournament was over. And this time around, you can see other teams are very well prepared against Venkatesh Iyer. They know his feet doesn't move a lot, so they are targeting his body, they are targeting those line and lengths where a batsman is forced to bring his feet out, and that is causing Venkatesh Iyer a lot of trouble in this tournament. And if it's a technical problem, then I think it will take some time for him to cope up with this. But again, if he can go on and play that natural aggressor sort of role, free-flowing role, which he played last year, then I don't think that feet-up thing, that technical thing will matter a lot. But it's mainly on the mind rather than the form thing.
And it is important now for if Kolkata Knight Riders want to do well in the tournament, if they want to win matches from here on, that he finds consistency, and so should Shreyas Iyer as well. He's been scoring runs but hasn't been big scores. Okay, time for our Fantasy 11. Before we get into it, please exercise caution. It comes with its own set of financial risks. So if you're playing on any of these apps, Dream 11, any of the fantasy game apps, then just please do exercise caution. Having said that, let's get straight into it. Then the captain for us today has to be Jos Buttler, red hot form, orange cap, batting like a dream. When he's playing on the day, you've got to make him the captain. So there we have it. Jos Buttler, the captain for us in the fantasy side.
Oh, absolutely. And I think more than 90% of fantasy players are going to make Jos Buttler the captain today. And why not? Dream form, dream season for Jos Buttler this time around. And you know, against a KKR bowling lineup which is not firing, I think we are again looking forward to something special from Buttler.
Yeah. Okay, so that is Jos Buttler. Then we've actually gone in with quite a lot of RR players. Now there are enough KKR as well. So RR then, Sanju Samson next on the list. Hasn't found the consistency that one would have liked, except that 55 in the first game's got, I think, 330s in the tournament so far. But expect him to come good on a day on a day when things are getting important. This is a important phase of the tournament, like I said. So Sanju Samson, you know, we know when he gets going what he does. So.
Yeah, I mean, after Jos Buttler, Sanju Samson has to be Rajasthan Royals' most dangerous batter, and in glimpses he has shown what he can do. But again, as you said, he needs to find some consistency. And again, when a bowling lineup like KKR isn't firing, I think it can't be a better time for Rajasthan Royals' batters, especially Sanju Samson, Devdutt Padikkal, to find some form and get some big runs.
Okay, then is Shreyas Iyer on that list, the captain, the leading scorer for Kolkata Knight Riders. When no one's firing, at least he is firing, which we haven't seen with some of the other teams. Their captains not being able to do well. We saw what Jadeja did, giving up the captaincy then. And of course, there is KL Rahul, who's batting very well. But Shreyas Iyer leading from the front in whatever way he can. They would want more out of him, but he is still scoring runs, so he's there in our playing 11.
Yeah, from KKR.
11.
Yeah, from KKR's batting unit, I think Shreyas Iyer has to be the best bet. Though I am not sure how he will fare against Rajasthan Royals, especially against Prasidh Krishna and Kuldeep Sen, who might attack him on his body. So Shreyas Iyer, a tricky outing coming up for him. But again, if from KKR, if we have to take any batter, then it has to be Shreyas Iyer.
Also, his last 3 scores against Rajasthan Royals is 85, 43 and 53.
So yeah.
Likes batting against them, likes batting at the Wankhede Stadium, so why not? Okay, then we move on to the player who scored a 50 in the last game for his team, Nitish Rana. One of the reasons, the other half being Shreyas Iyer, the reasons that Kolkata Knight Riders got to a good total was that 50 from Nitish Rana. Looked good. Again, we haven't seen him bat like what he was doing last season, but you know, somebody's got to score runs today for Kolkata Knight Riders. Given that he did score a 50 last match, I'm hoping that he can get runs today.
Yeah, it was a great partnership from Nitish Rana and Rinku Singh in the last match, and that helped KKR at least go to a modest total. And you know, Nitish Rana, if KKR has to do well, then again from this batting lineup, their domestic players like Nitish Rana, like Venkatesh Iyer, these guys have to fire. And Nitish Rana, although he has played a couple of good knocks, good eye-catching knocks, but again from an experienced campaigner who knows these conditions pretty well, has played all his cricket here throughout the India, then I think Nitish Rana will be a safe bet to have in your playing 11.
Okay, then we've gone in with Shimron Hetmeyer. Not only for his hairstyle, though I think it's a brilliant way to support your team by coloring your hair pink, because you play for the pink team. But he's been scoring runs, and he's been scoring runs for this side when they need him. Also, he's been striking very well. Yeah. So one of the best finishers in the tournament, Shimron Hetmeyer.
Yeah, without a shadow of doubt. And yes, after Jos Buttler, Sanju Samson, if anyone has won the matches, then it is Shimron Hetmeyer in that playing lineup, batting lineup, striking at close to 200, scoring brisk runs, giving you points with his fielding. He generally fields at long on, so chances of catching points there. So yeah, must have in your fantasy 11.
Okay, then you mentioned Rinku Singh, his partnership with Nitish Rana in the last match. So again, a player who's striking well, who looks like he's in form. And when it comes to Kolkata Knight Riders at the moment in their batting lineup, I would rather go for him than the ones who've got the reputation but are not performing.
Yeah, and if for those who don't watch a lot of domestic cricket, Rinku Singh has been Uttar Pradesh's main batsman in the last couple of domestic seasons, be it red ball or white ball. He has been their savior, and in the last match he batted at number 5, number 6. I think his best position is at number 4, just after Shreyas Iyer. If KKR can make that tweak and bring him up front, because power hitting is not his game. He can bring you boundaries, but he's sort of an anchor role player who can play aggressor if needed. So number 4 is the perfect place for him, and then the likes of Nitish Rana and others, Andre Russell, Sunil Naren can follow him. But yes, Rinku Singh looked in good touch in last couple of matches, and no harm to put him and get some safe runs to your points tally.
Okay, then we move on to Andre Russell there. Again, there were so many questions around Andre Russell before this tournament began. Would he be okay? Would he be fit enough? Would he be able to bowl? What if he gets injured midway through the tournament? Andre Russell so far has proved why people think that he is the best when it comes to playing T20 format. Again, second leading run scorer for them, 227 with the strike rate again. When he gets going on that day, he'll win you the match. Yeah. There is no two ways about it. And also, on his day, he might just go in and get you 4 wickets in an over. So anything is possible with Andre Russell.
Oh, the champion player, absolute match winner. We have talked about so many greats in past, AB de Villiers and all, but Andre Russell, has to be in that list as well. An absolute KKR legend as well. But when their batting is not firing, and I have seen plenty of KKR fans also asking this, why not send Andre Russell up ahead in the batting order?
That's been the story of Andre Russell's life when it comes to Kolkata Knight Riders.
Remember that press conference? Yes. I want to bat at up in the order.
This happened. One of the reasons why Dinesh Karthik was removed from the captaincy was because fans thought that maybe Andre Russell should come up the order. This happened last season. They still haven't learned from it. Maybe there's something we don't know about what's going on behind the scenes with Kolkata Knight Riders. But okay, let's then get to who is the next player for us. It is the legendary, the great Sunil Naren. He has to be there. I mean, we don't even need to talk about how good he's been for this side. With the bat, you would have wanted him to do better, but again, he's doing the job with the ball.
Yeah, the most economical bowler in this IPL and with an economy of around 5, which is absolutely ridiculous for any bowler, any legendary bowler. Sunil Naren at 5 economy has to be one of the best outings for him in the history of IPL, and you never know when he comes up to bat at opening slot, so some free runs up there as well. So yeah, must have in your fantasy 11, and yes, hope he picks up a few wickets as well.
Now, the last time he played against Kolkata Knight Riders, he took a hat-trick, so he has to be there, given that he is the purple cap holder. He's again bowling beautifully and likes to bowl against Kolkata Knight Riders. Yuzvendra Chahal in that list.
Taking revenge of his brother Kuldeep Yadav as well together. So yeah,
that was a little nice little moment with Kuldeep Yadav also saying that
he wants Yuzvendra Chahal to win the purple cap. So yeah, complete brotherhood between Chahal and Kuldeep Yadav there, and why not be? I don't think a single fantasy player will leave him out from their respective 11. But yes, what a season it has been! Dream season. The way he is bowling, varying his pace. Just watch out for Yuzvendra Chahal when he is bowling at the longer boundary. He will just slow down the pace. He will bring it down at as low as 70 km/h, which is sensational. And when he is bowling at the shorter end, he will fire it up at 95, 96. So variations and yeah, has to be there. What a
also
season.
Interesting with the celebration.
The celebration that lying after completing his hat-trick, that meme turned into celebration.
Wasn't very happy with Suryakumar Yadav hugging him.
But again,
in the last game. Also, was the one I remember when that whole no ball controversy happened, sending Kuldeep Yadav back to his crease, saying, "Stop complaining, get back." Pushed him back to the side. Little things, that we pick up in the match. Okay, then we move on to the next player, Umesh Yadav. We've already talked about him, but what a good addition he's been for this squad, Kolkata Knight Riders. I mean, to think that they weren't even bidding for him, and that they only got him because they didn't have, fast bowlers towards the end. But then for him to get 14 wickets in 9 games, economy of 7.27. By the way, 49 of these 14 wickets have come at the Wankhede Stadium. So why not?
Wankhede. So Wankhede merchant Umesh Yadav has become his, he has enjoyed bowling at Wankhede, and it gives an extra bit of zip for him as well. The ball moves around.
Look at the strike rate at Wankhede Stadium of 8.
8. Oh, that's a wicket after every 8 deliveries. That's insane for any bowler. And yes, it has been a great season, a season of redemption for Umesh Yadav. And KKR's best bowler, one of the best in power plays in IPL as well. I think he has the most wickets in power play this season. So must have in your Team 11. Okay.
Then the last player, we had a choice. Well, I had a choice between Prasiddha Krishna. A lot of you can go for Prasiddha Krishna if you want to, but the reason why we went in for Tim Southee was because less percentage of people have him, so differential pick in that sense. If he does well,
and he has
we'll get more points, and he has been doing well.
He has been picking up wickets there. When Umesh Yadav, was going through a dry patch in the couple of matches, it was Tim Southee who was picking up wickets. And even I would be tempted to take up Kuldeep Sen as well. Just because of the fact that KKR batter might not go hard against Prasidh Krishna or Trent Bolt. They might stay safe against and try and take out Kuldeep Sen, and which might go against them as well. So if you are looking for differential picks, then Tim Southee or Kuldeep Sen can be there in your fantasy 11.
Also, I think some of this will be dependent on the toss and which team bats first. Though we've seen, now this being a more even contest with the two teams at the Wankhede Stadium as well, chasing no more an advantage that we saw in the first half of the tournament. But that's it. So that's our Fantasy 11 guide. What do you think of it? Do you think you would have liked some changes? Who are the players that you would have wanted in the side that we don't have? Let us know in the comment section below. And at 6:30 is when we will go live on TV9 Bharatvarsh, our Hindi channel. So that'll be in Hindi at 6:30. और इसी मैच पर हम चर्चा करेंगे और उसके बाद at 7 o'clock we're back on News 9 Sports. That's what you need to subscribe to. I've been saying it, crying horse. Every day I've been saying please do subscribe to News 9 Sports. So please do that. Press the bell notification button so that you get the notification every time we put up a new fresh video. So that's it then from Shubhayan and me. Goodbye. Thanks for watching.